Second Podlims. The second Podlims. Can we get another cheer?
I love the way these cheers get worse and worse every week.
Yeah, well, we've only had two, all right. Let's just go through, we have a new person here. Would you like to say your name?
All right, lads. I'm Alex, or Lozlims McQueen, and I'm a Birmingham fan, in case you wanted to know, which you probably didn't.
Birmingham fan from?
From Sheffield, but there's a reason. My dad's from Birmingham, so
diverse. That is quite diverse. That's quite brilliant. It's like I think when you said that, I was like, hello everyone, I'm Alex. Let's get into this podcast. But first, let's start bullying children. Like my favorite commentary YouTuber. I feel like we could actually let these podcasts go quite far. We could, but eventually it'll come to the point where we start asking deep questions like, what is the real? Are we in the real? Are we real? Are we experiencing the real?
What happens is when we do a late night podcast and then we all just talk shit.
Oh, that would be brilliant. That's the dream. That is absolutely the dream. What we want is, like, especially with Cam and Ranty, like, we want to have a blast just chatting shit. Like, maybe exactly. We're just currently drinking a few bezies and enjoying our lives.
Just letting go with
go with the flow, innit?
I was going to say Kings of the North, or we'll have to call them Princes of the North, because Brian will like that.
The prophets. They are the prophets.
Yeah, prophets of Lozlims.
The Lozlims prophets.
Oh yeah, by the way, as well, I think the first podcast got like 700 views, which is pretty mint, really. If I check now, it's going to be, the Ronaldinho podcast. Ronaldinho compilation is finished. I'm very sad. If anyone didn't know, I was currently watching Ronaldinho compilations because they give me life. Just type in Podlims and just see what we get. First podcast, it is 687 views as of now, as I am speaking, as I'm using my... And who the fuck was that one dislike? Yeah, no, I was thinking that. Do you know, it shot up massively after Brian replied Lozlims podcast over Front Three.
The Front Three. I'm gonna be really honest and say I've never listened to the Front Three, so I can't really.
Either. I've never.
I just took the compliment, really, and also the pinned comment. The pinned comment is just my life and soul and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And we also have Ranty's comment. Ranty did say. If he won't leave his own stream until we got 100 subscribers, and now, as of now, we are 131.
Oh, look at that!
Absolute banging. We can't say bad things about Statman Dave anymore because A, the status are gone, and B, Statman Dave is just a wonderful human being. Yeah. We do love the back and forth between him and Lawrence on the kickoff. Like that's what makes it the kickoff.
When they have a private conversation at the back, that gives me life. That does.
He talks stats in his sleep, and now he's passed on to Lawrence. Who's now the man behind the screen, and but you can just see Dave just like constantly leaning, like, let me have a go at the screen. Let me talk stats. And that's good because he can talk stats for days, and we love that.
Exactly.
And now, So what's everyone been doing since the first podcast came out, which was about 5 days ago? You want to start?
I've done not a lot. I think I went Wales on Friday and surfed in North Wales for this weekend, and then got back tonight, so that was good. Watched a bit of football. How did you do?
Yes, of course. How do you react to when we beat Sweden?
Well, I support Wales anyway, so all right, okay. This is one of those ones that's actually quite topical at the moment, as I've seen a lot of things going around on Twitter, like Irish, Scottish, and Welsh people not wanting England to do well.
Oh yeah, they've got Croatian flags now. on their Twitter bios.
I'm not one of them. I actually don't mind the home nation doing all right.
Absolute real.
Like, don't get me wrong. If Wales were in it and England were, but we're not in it, so there's no point us slagging these off.
Yeah, it's just, at the point now. It's at the point now where it's just banter. Like, you know, it failed with the Colombians, it failed with the Swedes, and now it's just like, oh, let's just have this one. It's going to be funny. Take the piss out of the English. That's what we do.
Yeah,
and you can just laugh at it together. Yeah. Oh, North Wales is a nice place, especially Snowdonia.
Yeah, that's where we're surfing, but
very good. Yeah,
my South Wales, like Pembroke Dock.
Oh yeah, I stayed for a while in Bala. Do you know Bala?
South Wales.
Bala's in North Wales.
No, I don't know them.
It's a town like really near like a few lakes and mountains in Snowdonia. It's like quite nice. It has a football team which constantly gets Europa League football, which is quite interesting. Yeah, Bala town. Normally losing to like really good Swedish teams or something like that.
That's crazy.
If they were in the Europa League, I would probably laugh if they got Burnley. See another Vizzer rant.
Yeah.
But we all want a European tour for Burnley.
Well, yeah, you've seen that pre-season. They go to Spain, so hopefully we'll see some Burnley fans tear up Spain.
They go to Spain and France, and they can tear it all up. In the name of Sean Dyche, they can tear it all up. That is the dream. And also, one thing that True Geordie love about our podcast is like only 3 minutes in, and I said it's us against the world.
Yeah, that was funny.
I was like, I don't even remember saying that. I don't even remember any of us saying that. But it's like, I did, yeah.
I think you were referring to Lawrence Twitter against the rest of Twitter.
Oh, football Twitter, yes, of course.
I think that's what you're referring to.
I can reiterate. If they want to call, they can call me a nonce all they want. I'm not BATESON. Oh, I have the name I have a title for this podcast, by the way.
Go on.
BATESON blocked me.
It flows well. It flows.
That is the title.
Did you see mine and Cam's back and forth on Twitter where I said I was trying to create fake beef so that the podcast got more views?
Oh, I haven't seen it, but we can definitely have a little discussion about that.
My title for the Cam podcast, I reckon, is Cook and Cam come face to face.
It's like how they have like last names in UFC coming together, like Ngannou Miocic. Like in this one, it could be Cut Cam or Cam Cuck.
Yeah.
Cam, baby. That's.
I know this is random, but do any of you watch UFC?
I do, yeah.
Did you watch DC Stipe last night?
Oh, yes. Absolute.
You can't deny DC's got to be top 5, if not the GOAT now.
I've been waiting. I've still been waiting. I was waiting so long for someone to say that CM Punk was a shit UFC fighter and should just stick to like WWE. It's like those actors in WWE. Like once they realize that you got the excitement of UFC building up, you want to have a taste of the action. And I think what's his name? Brock Lesnar. Is he a UFC fighter now? Yeah, I think he's done it right. So he's got muscles. He's got muscles, so he's actually doing it right. But CM Punk is like, he just seems too weak, and he gets like the shit kicked out of him every time. I was so thankful for the True Geordie to just bring up.
So this is the thing: CM Punk fought Mickey Gall first and lost, and Mickey Gall is a very good fighter. He's Jason Perillo's his coach. Him and Jason are really close. And Jason Perillo is Michael Bisping's coach. So Mickey Gall was a good fighter. So when CM Punk got matched up with him, I thought like there was both their UFC debuts. But I knew Mickey Gall, I knew about him, and I knew he was an alright. He was like, he's got a good coach and stuff.
Yeah, ignore me. I just disconnected randomly.
So when CM Punk got Mickey Gall, I thought like shit, and Mickey Gall made him look like his bitch. So I gave CM Punk the benefit of the doubt because I know Mickey Gall's a good fighter. But then when he lost, like, was it 9th of June? I think his fight was. It just showed like he got absolutely beat the shit out of by a guy on his UFC. No, it wasn't even UFC debut. I think he'd already had a 1 loss in the UFC or something.
Yeah. I mean, has CM Punk won anything?
No.
Oh, imagine my shock. Yeah, because I was just going to check on him to see, oh, maybe he's got like this. Maybe it's pity. Nope. Just shit kicked out of him every time. Poor bastard. He's got that passion, but it's just not cutting it, is it? If you want passion, you got to be like McGregor, kind of fiery, but you can kick the shit out of anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
With Brock as well. Brock went from the UFC to the WWE back to the UFC. So it's weird. It's weird his change of direction.
Yeah. So Lozlims McQueen, what have you been doing since the last podcast 5 days ago? Since the last week?
Not much really, apart from watching the England game. Nothing of note.
How did you react? Also, Messiah McKenna, one of the Lozlims, has a YouTube channel where he has been recording his footage with friends, watching the England games, the limbs moments from the Colombia game and the limbs moments from the Tunisia game.
That's Los Alpha, not.
Oh, was it Los Alpha?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Of course, yeah. So, and you're in both of them?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, you know, get maybe just casually link them in the description. But yeah, of course, seeing the reaction from so many England fans, especially me, I was in a pub, right? I was in a pub and I 2 goals, nearly spilled my drink, but full time, like, just went everywhere.
Like, full time was relief against Sweden.
It was relief, but everyone was just going. We had 3 lines blasting for like the rest of the evening.
I've been listening to it non-stop for the past few days.
Did you see the England fans who went batshit crazy in Clapham Junction?
No, I've seen the ones on ITV. You know, like they showed the different places.
It was like this guy jumped from a bus.
I saw that, through the
and he jumped into the bus shelter and was like, fucking idiot. Like,
I saw that.
It started smashing up Ikeas as well. I was thinking, that's a bit extreme. I thought like if we lose to Sweden, we just don't show up at IKEA anymore. But if we're winning, like, just leave it alone. It's the best place on earth.
They do some banging meatballs.
They do some banging. I have to say that. Respect the meatballs. Respect. They actually did have. I think there was an IKEA in England somewhere which did have like one of the sales signs, which is a football. But instead of writing the Swedish word for football, it was est kommen home.
Oh yeah.
They use like Swedish characters. It's funny.
I walked past a Chinese, and it was the most casual racism I've seen in a while. It was just the name of the Chinese was just called "What would you like?"
Wow.
I looked at it and had to like double check what like that was like. I was like, that is
yeah.
I was just that's what you find in North Wales.
North Wales just it's one of those places where it's like it's really just really white.
Yeah.
Like uncomfortably white. Like
yeah.
It's
I know what you
surprising. Mean. Yeah, it's surprising. And that not really because it's like country areas, but so what have I been doing since the last podcast? I recently visited Tottenham again. Went to see the new stadium. It's still coming up very nicely, very quickly. Obviously, there won't be a game until September, but it's still a really nice venue. It's like going every time I go back there. Like there's always a new massive chunk just included into the stadium, and I think it's going to look like a masterpiece when it's finished. Definitely better than the Emirates. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah. So apparently, also in the past, you said you went to watch Deadpool. Deadpool 2?
Yes. So I went to watch Deadpool 2.
Recently as well.
And no, it was well good. I knew it was going to be good from what you said about it, and how because you'd all said it was funny, but no, yeah, it was good.
No spoilers to anyone listening, by the way.
Yeah. No, I love Deadpool 1, and I thought it was really good as well. And is it 100% Loz's friend who's like literally a main character? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I was so surprised at how much he was in it.
Oh yeah, of course, because like New Zealand.
When I saw that, like when he said it, or my friends in Deadpool 2, I was expecting like maybe by 5 minutes, where he's literally in the I would put him in the main character. Like he's a main.
Yeah,
character
he's one of the main characters.
It's honestly crazy. Also, this is what happens when Lozlims go international.
Yeah, we have all those connections. Like we have True Geordie gets to meet Alan Shearer and is now best friends with him, and now 100% Loz is like best friends with a movie star.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be good. We'll have to put
no spoilers. Yeah, definitely. No spoilers, right? But that was my favorite bit, where it's like they had the Basic Instinct reference, but it was with baby legs. I was crying. I had several laughing fits, and that one actually brought me to tears.
Oh, yeah.
I had to watch it twice. It was such a good movie. Like uncontrollable laughing fits.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
There's also, Marvel. They've just had, for the past few years, like they've always had the best movies, like the masterpieces that everyone wants to see, and
they have
everyone. The top 3 movies are currently Black Panther, Deadpool 2, and Infinity War. I think Deadpool 2 actually overtook Infinity War in box office, which is surprising.
Yeah, that's surprising.
I think the only one that I've not seen Black Panther.
You haven't seen Black Panther? I don't support that one, but I've seen it. I have seen it.
Watch it.
Have you listened to the soundtrack? Because I was going to go on to like talking about music.
I've listened to the soundtrack.
Oh yeah, I love the artists on the soundtrack.
Out of all the stars, Black Panther, Bloody Waters. Those are my 3 favorite songs in the album. And the one with Imagine Dragons. That one's really good.
I like Ops with Vince Staple in it.
That one's quite nice. Cool. Yeah. Speaking of Kendrick Lamar, he's like that upcoming king, and I was really glad that he got the opportunity to do a soundtrack for Black Panther.
I actually liked X's one with the one with Schoolboy Q and 2 Chainz.
Oh yeah,
I like Schoolboy Q.
I'm seeing 2 Chainz Saturday night now.
Yeah,
because I'm going to see Eminem Saturday night at Twickenham, and really 2 Chainz is one of his guests. But yeah,
I was gonna go to Wireless, but I didn't get to.
Yeah, I was gonna go, and then I just didn't get a ticket for Saturday. And then Jay Huss got arrested, and then I was just like, "What's the point?"
When did he get arrested? What's the story?
I was gonna go to Wireless to watch Jay Huss, but then he got arrested, so they took him off the line.
Did he get arrested?
Yeah, I think he got arrested for possession of a knife. I'll have to Google it, but I'm not 100% sure.
That's what it was.
Yeah. For a knife, I thought he was better than that. He was like the chill, like one of the English talents. Like he was quite chill. I didn't realize he was in possession of a knife.
So yeah, anyway, they took him off. Like they replaced him with a load of different acts. So I was like,
Mostak. He was not going to be in it because of football, but he came anyway. Yeah. So Wireless, I was so pissed off that I couldn't be there. I was so pissed off that I couldn't be there because, like, the crowd was actually buzzing when Mostak came on. It's like, did you see the video when Giggs brought out Drake? When Giggs brought out Drake at Reading Festival. Yeah. And the crowd was like bouncing around so much. I was actually just so live. And then I remember watching footage of what's it called? The Summer Bowl, the Capsule FM one, the one at Wembley. I'm thinking, I feel sorry for him. Like I roasted the fuck out of him. Like when he forgot his ear, like until I didn't realize he forgot his earpiece. I realized, why are you still performing on stage if you've forgotten your earpiece? Just casually go and get it, come back on, have the time of your life. But for every other performance, like the crowd was so dead. because I get that because the audience was young girls, like very mixed, but with like Wireless, Reading, and Leeds, you've got everyone jumping about because mostly like young lads who have just finished their education, having the absolute time of their lives listening to music, and then with Wireless, just mentioning Mo Stack's name, that everyone's kept bouncing, like even though there wasn't any music, and then and even the beginning to KMT by Drake featuring Gigs was like brilliant. It was like just everyone's just bouncing around. You could see, and then another one, Park Life, which if you didn't know, Stephen Tries went to. If he hasn't mentioned that enough, did he? I'm not sure. I think he's mentioned it, but I'm pretty sure he went to Park Life. Bugsy Malone actually got the crowd jumping so much they were creating dust particles in the air.
Shit.
It was the biggest thing ever. It was quite immense. And I remember, like, I think the fans in Wembley, they were still cheering on Ramsden. He was going like, I'm icy. I've got sick of meds on my feet. That's. You see them guys over there, I've got a Portuguese. You see my tempers. Like, I was thinking, mate, get the earpiece.
Did Rams just join this call?
No, he didn't. Oh, no, I was... Oh, shut up. Stop it, you. You're too kind. So I think... talking about editing, if me and Kirk ever go on the True Geordie podcast, are we still gonna have Chicken McKenna editing that one?
Yeah, it's got to be. He's got
the
amount of commitment Chicken put into the first one.
Of course,
You need a man like that in your life. I was like, it doesn't have to go up next day. Like, it's not a problem if it goes up 2 days after or something. I said, take your time editing it. He's like, no, I'm getting it done last night. I was like, fair play, mate, fair play.
Yes, absolutely.
He got it up for Brian's train, didn't he?
Yeah, we still and then hearing that the True Geordie enjoyed it and not called it like some kind of wannabe like the Jack friend.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you! You're so big with your Ricky Gervais guest. Piss off! We're gonna have Cam Kirkham and we got Cam and Banty. That's fucking better than like what's his name? Ricky Gervais, who did have a banging podcast, I must say.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's not slag off Ricky Gervais because one day we want him on this.
Yeah, of course. He does seem like I think that's one of the only two Jack-made podcasts I ever watched.
Yeah, I watched that one.
I don't want to chat shit about XO or anything. I definitely don't want to, but the fact that there's different editors for the XO podcast just makes it not feel like a podcast. Like, it's still in a podcast length, 50 minutes to an hour, but the use of over editing just doesn't make it suitable for like iTunes or like suitable to listen to. That's why
I don't
watch on iTunes. I tend to listen on iTunes. I tend to just do it all on YouTube, so it doesn't make a massive difference for me.
Thing is now, True Geordie podcast, the Kickoff, and the Knockout, they're all on Spotify, so you can listen on there. And I think the Kickoff's the funniest because, like, when Newcastle score a goal, you just hear Brian in the background screaming.
Yeah.
Especially Newcastle 3, West Ham 0. You just hear him screaming and just like the ambience before someone says, "I don't know what to say." And just check SoundCloud. Not SoundCloud. Check Spotify for the.
Yeah, I'll start watching the Kickoffs on Spotify.
Yeah.
To watch it live.
A podcast I listen to, which if you're into like fighting and MMA and stuff like that, is Bisping's podcast.
Oh yeah, that was a brilliant one. And also Frank Mir. Frank Mir was like quite inspirational as well. Like he was the kid.
So Bisping's got his own podcast. He does.
Does he? I was talking about the one with. Yeah.
No, that's good. But he does one with a. Hold on, let me get it up. He does it with a guy called Louis J. Gomez, which is a comedian from New York, and it's really good. Like, if you're not into MMA or like fighting, it's probably not for like. But like, believe you me, on on iTunes. Definitely worth listening to if you're ever bored.
Yeah. Do you? Of course, like this is just a basic question where if you answer no, then you're kind of wrong. Do you watch Joe Rogan podcast?
I do, yeah. Depending on the guest.
Also, yeah, I think the first one I ever watched from Joe Rogan was Dan Bilzerian.
I saw that one. That was really good.
That was like the first one I watched. It was quite interesting, and I just kept watching and watching. I think I don't think we'll ever reach the heights of the of like Joe Rogan and True Geordie, but it's definitely the best way.
It's a nice thing to aim for, but
yeah,
you never know.
At one point,
you never know.
At one point, Brian probably said he wouldn't reach 800k, and look where he is now. So
yeah, he's nearly at $1 million. He needs that $1 million. We need to get him to $1 million, otherwise, shit will hit the fan.
I think it's going to come. Think about it. Right? You got the press conference, which he'll have a load of new viewers from America.
Loads of Logan Paul's subscribers, I reckon.
And then exactly. And then you've got
anyone to start.
And then he's commentating on the 25th. Yeah. So I reckon he'll be at $1 million by the summer.
Do you remember the first press conference between KSI and Joe Weller, the one at Upload?
Yeah.
I think when Brian said, subscribe to the True Geordie and I'll see you later, I think that actually gave him a surge in subscribers because like people were trying to take up on his name. Then he did it again. He did it again for the second press conference, and he like I think he got more from that. And now the one which the YouTube video which became his most viewed video, the Logan Paul one, that gave him like the most views and like gave him way more subscribers. Then finally was the knockout between Mayweather and McGregor, which got him 16 million views. That's like the most. Like it was higher than like 4 million, which was the biggest of his before. Like 16 million was like
the best thing about that is the amount of people that went onto that stream thinking they were streaming the actual fight.
But this like the so many like what was it 50,000 like fucking morons like who thought that they were actually looking for a stream. People still do that. They type in the chat of like the kickoff like, is this a stream for the football match? Yeah. I want to stream for the football match. Find it somewhere else. This is just commentary. This is just watching lads have fun.
Yeah, I remember waking up after that knockout and that's just being in awe of the amount of views it got and not realising why. I was watching live because I was in Bosnia. I was in Bosnia at the time, and so I just paid on my iPad to watch the fight, so I had them both on. But in Bosnia, I didn't even have to wait. I didn't have to go to bed early because it was on and really. So I got up at 6 and watched it, and it was class.
I went to go to the theatre in the Arts Theatre, which is in the centre of London, and I got a notification before the play started, and it was for the True Geordie podcast because I had notifications on for him, and I remember when I saw who the guest was. You know the BMX racer that became paralysed.
Yeah,
that one. Yeah, I've forgotten. But when I saw who it was, I saw the introduction. I was like, I just stepped out of the theatre and just got into the lobby where all the Wi-Fi was and just sat there, just watching the True Geordie podcast instead of going to the theatre, which I thought was like quite
smart move.
Yeah,
there's a few times that I've been in situations where I probably shouldn't have watched a True Geordie podcast and a half. I've been there, done that. The Christmas one, you know well, I think Brian has a lovely Santa hat with the Newcastle United logo on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Simon Murray, that was his name. Yeah, absolute legend.
Is it Simon?
Simon Murray.
Is it Stephen? I thought it was Stephen.
Well, it's S. Murray.
Stephen.
That was a good podcast. It was just S. Murray. It was a good podcast. The Christmas one, and the Christmas one was like where they get all the drinks in. It's Christmas. Everyone's together. And then I remember I was in a in Birmingham. I was in Birmingham, like watching it because you know, where else would you be on Christmas besides the Midlands? I wasn't technically in Birmingham. I was near the airport, and I was like in a hotel with a massive corridor, and I have like all these pensioners walking through, and I forgot my headphones. So I just thought, if I listen to this podcast quietly, fairly quietly, then I hope nobody will turn an eye. But they speak they project quite a lot on the True Geordie podcast, especially that Christmas one. So every time, and it was quite one of those ones where they have a few drinks before, and Brian was like, every time he said the word cunt, he was like, "Ah, you cunt," and he was like, and the few oldies actually turned their heads and were like, such foul language, absolutely horrible, yeah. So
tell them to subscribe.
Yeah, I think I was on the verge of saying, subscribe to the True Geordie, and I'll see you later.
Mine always ends up being on a bus. Like, I'll be on a bus and I won't have my headphones, or a train, and I just think like,
if I miss the kickoff, then if I miss like the beginning of the kickoff, I just turn on I sometimes will turn on data on the bus and just watch it, and I have to like stop myself from uncontrollably laughing because like they have so much banter on the kickoff, especially the World Cup one.
I'm loving the World Cup kickoffs, honestly. I really am.
Yeah, they brought Kieran Dyer on. I feel like if England reach the final, then surely they have to just bring back Alan Shearer.
Yeah, they'll have to fly out to Russia, though, wouldn't they? Because he's in the studio.
Yeah, I mean, they managed to get him to say things. Yeah, I think if Kevin Keegan's still about, I'm thinking that would be a perfect podcast because. You know, he played and managed for both Newcastle and Liverpool, so that gets Lawrence points.
Yeah,
so Lawrence points.
I'm hoping they get some next season's kickoff. I'm hoping there's some kind of lower league, like lower down the league fans.
Yeah,
I'd like to see Liam go on actually for Burnley.
I mean, yeah. Oh, in another news about like the next podcast, The new Cam video is giving Rancy a haircut, and that's why it features Bambino Becky. I just heard that it features her, but it's Rancy involved, so the trailer for it looks fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that after, I think.
Yeah, definitely, me too. I've also commented on it.
I've also not watched. I don't know if I reviewed this, but if I've missed a kickoff, I will like sit back and watch it as if it's a podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
So, like, even though I know
it's kind of weird. Sometimes they have blank stares where it's like, and you just wait for them to scream things.
Yeah, because you know what's coming. Part.
Yeah.
Because I didn't watch. I watched Colombia, England at a pub, so I didn't watch the kickoff and got home and thought the kickoff's going to be extra long. I was like, it's going to be extra long at least.
I watched Sweden, England at a pub, and it was absolute limbs. I'm just trying to make that. I think I'm trying to make that my catchphrase, like absolute limbs.
Lozlims.
Absolute cracking banter. Yeah. Oh, England down in Moscow. Oh, drinking all the vodka. Oh, England's going all the way. Exactly. That's what we want. Here. Oh, the UK press conference for KSI Logan. It's and Deji Jake Paul. It's in Manchester.
Yeah. Is it?
Oh, that's perfect because I don't know like you, but northern audiences they have quite the need for being hecklers in a good way, which is like.
What's the date for it?
The date for it is it's the 18th of July, Wednesday.
Is that Wednesday?
Yep. Not the same Wednesday as the World Cup.
The Wednesday after. I might have to see if I can get myself a ticket for that.
Yeah, definitely.
Wait, is it in Manchester? Did you say?
It's in Manchester, yeah.
That's close to me.
That's what I was going to say. It's not far.
York Hall.
Manchester. I can do that in an hour.
It says York Hall, Bethnal. Oh no, they moved it. It's not in Manchester. It's in Bethnal Green.
All right, shit. Right, I'm not going.
Your call.
Guess not then.
I come back from London on Monday as well. That's the annoying thing.
Oh, that is your call is in London. It's Bethnal Green, East London. That is an absolute shame. It's a
that where that's where the Weller one was.
Yeah. Oh yes, it was. Oh no, the fight is in Manchester. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I remember.
Yeah.
The press conference itself. That's in York Hall. It's going to be quite the experience. It's a game of two halves.
Exactly.
And both halves being brothers.
Game of two halves.
Both halves being brothers.
It's an interesting dynamic that having two brothers versus two brothers.
Yeah, I thought that.
Yeah.
It adds like normally the main event don't really give a shit about the undercards because then they've got. Whereas I think JJ will also be nervous for Deji.
Yeah.
So you've got like.
Do you know which fight's going first? It's Deji versus Jake Paul, isn't it?
Yeah. The main event's on it. Oh, I can't remember. I found it all out the other day. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the first fight is at 7:30. I want to say.
7:30. Oh yeah. Well, they have like one straight off the other, and the undercards are pretty. The undercards are pretty interesting as well.
So yeah, I don't know many of them. I know you've got Jay and he's in.
Yeah, Ethan versus what's his name? Nick Crompton.
Yeah.
Apparently Nick Crompton pulled out, didn't he?
Yeah,
he did.
Nick Crompton pulled out.
Oh, did he? But no, Bazinga's still been training. Bazinga's still been training. He's still been in training.
I suppose he likes his fitness now, though.
Yeah, I think that's just more for a personal thing now.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, I'll have to check up on that at some point, but like, I hope the fight goes on.
Well, I don't know if...
I would have loved it if it did.
Yeah, that would have been a great fight. I would have just wanted Bez to do well, because, I mean, like, have you seen his progress photos?
Yeah.
Like, fair play to the lad. He's credit
been working hard.
Yeah.
As well found an opponent yet, because Tom Cassell pulled out.
As well fighting again. No, I thought he said in that video he was just gonna focus on what does he say? Focus on getting fat. So like focus on getting fat.
So he said he wants to fight on the undercard if he can find an opponent. And Syndicate or Tom Cassell was going to fight him, but
Syndicate, nah, he's too small.
No, Syndicate would have a chance.
He pulled out because he only wanted to fight if Ricky Hatton would train him, and apparently Hatton's too busy.
Oh, busy with more important people. Well, hey.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I thought Ricky Hatton and his team are probably thinking, why would we take on this small man from Manchester and watch him get knocked out in front of 16 million people?
Have you been watching Callum's Corners videos about the fight?
Who doesn't love I feel like all the best. There's quite a few good YouTubers, and they all happen to be called Callum. You've got Callum Markey, Callum from the Corner. You've got Cal Freezy, Calux. Cam sounds like Callum.
Trying to think of other ironic ones that really aren't good YouTubers now.
Oh yeah, there's no such thing as a bad YouTuber called Callum.
That is true. I can't think.
Yeah, definitely can't.
Segue into bad YouTubers, and I was joking. I don't know. I can't even.
I'm kidding. I wanted to just bring up this because I was going to do a little transfer talk. I brought up the top 10 football whispers, which Sky Sports does for today.
Yes, I have seen them.
Okay, so
should we go from 10 to 1 or 1 to 10?
1 to 10. Okay, so first one, Santi Cazorla to Villarreal. Highest one.
That's 4.9 out of 5.
Yep. That is the highest one. What are your thoughts?
Well, he's already said he's not staying at Arsenal, so I mean, it makes sense for him going back to Spain. He's getting on. He's got a bad knee, and whether he goes to Villarreal, but he'll probably go back to Spain.
Yeah, he's not the sort of player to go from the Premier League to the Championship just because of the style of play he is. So I think that's a good move for him.
He's shit, but he's not that shit.
He's not right.
He's getting on.
He was never shit for Arsenal. He was such a as a fan, you'd be buzzing to see him in the kit because he was so good. He brought like creativity to the midfield that was lackluster at the time.
It was like young. It was like young Cazorla and the young the young Cazorla and the young Wilshere, like they did turn heads. Like that's what got Wilshere onto like FIFA 12's cover.
Speaking of young Wilshere, what
speaking of Wilshere,
old Wilshere, which is at number 2, Arsenal to West Ham.
To West Ham, that can happen. He is a West Ham fan.
I can see that.
He's still a West Ham fan at heart. That could definitely happen. But Santi Cazorla did say he wanted Wilshere to join him at Villarreal if he went, because they're like good friends.
I can't see Wilshere going to Spain, and this is my. You've got to remember, this is what I said to someone the other day.
Yeah,
it's not just families. It's not just footballers. They have families taken into consideration. Wilshere's got 3 kids living in London.
Is he going to go to the London club?
He's probably going to go to a London club, isn't he? Like that would just make sense for his family, really. So that's why I can see. And other than West Ham, I can't really see him fitting in any other London club because, well, he won't go to Tottenham because he's too clever for that. And
he's not Gallas. He's not Adebayor. He's not.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I can't see. He's
not good enough.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah,
he's not going to Chelsea. He's not going. So West Ham's probably the right choice for him.
Yeah.
Riyad Mahrez. Yeah. Riyad Mahrez, Leicester to Man City. This has been on everyone's mind since Leicester won the league. Like Mahrez, is he going? Is he not? Is he going to go to Arsenal? Is he going to go to Man City? Is he going to go to Spurs? Is he going to go to Chelsea? And now Man City have like probably actually made an offer for them.
But obviously, then he's fell out of Leicester massively because in the January he refused to train because they didn't let him go. So he's probably, and he's not like he's at. If he'd have gone straight after they won the league, then he would have gone. That would be the right time to go. Whereas because he's left a few years, his hype settled down a bit.
He's had a good season
he went missing in the last window, didn't he? Like they would believe like, oh, is he in the north of Africa? Is he in France? Is he training with the national team? Is he back in England? Like nobody knew where he was. Obviously, in 2016, everyone loved that link up between Vardy and Mahrez or Varez. They even put it on football boots when Leicester won the league. And like I thought it was sick, but now Mahrez, his hype's dying down. Vardy's still got things going for him, but yeah, I think Man City would just be a good move for him. Next one.
Then we have Jorginho. He's from Napoli to Manchester City.
We're just doing back and forth. For like I say one, you say one, I say one, you say one.
Yeah.
So
I think Jorginho, he's been absolutely instrumental in Napoli's success this season.
My knowledge of Napoli has mostly been based around FIFA, but I did watch sorry to bring them up again, but a Copa 90 documentary, which did have a lot of praise for like players like Hamšík and Jorginho, and they were like the midfield is the engine, the powerhouse of the entire Napoli team, which got them to where they were.
Yeah, I think he's a class player, and I think he'd fit in at Man City.
Definitely.
Especially in the Pep. I think he's a Pep kind of player. You look at a player and you think Pep could do something with him. And
Kolo, with Kolo leaving to wherever, that would be a good replacement. Not Kolo. Yaya, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and okay, next one. Thomas Lemar, Monaco, Atletico Madrid. He was linked with Liverpool, Spurs, and Arsenal.
Well, Arsenal got 90 mil bidding, didn't they, for him? So.
Yep. Yeah. And Liverpool then tried, and then that failed. But now Atletico Madrid is becoming more and more of a possibility. I think his hype has definitely died down. I haven't heard for him in a year. I haven't seen him since he scored against Spurs in the Champions League. It's just haven't made that much of a presence last season. Yeah.
Yeah,
wasn't Arsenal's bid accepted, and then they pulled out?
Yeah, it was accepted.
Yeah,
but then because Sanchez hadn't been sold at that point, it was then.
Oh yeah,
there was some issue. With it. Speaking of Arsenal, Lucas Torreira from Sampdoria to Arsenal. I think we spoke about this briefly on the last podcast, so we won't go into too much detail. But yeah,
Torreira was brilliant in the World Cup. I think, despite the fact that France beat Uruguay, he was one of the best. I think Torreira was one of the best players on the pitch for both that game and the World Cup. Definitely a steal for Arsenal. David Button from Fulham to Brighton. Oh, Brighton!
I can't speak much on this.
Oh, I can because I watch Fulham matches. Obviously, one of our Lozlims is a Brighton fan. I think we have a few, or it's just one. But the if it is just one, then yeah. So David Busson, he's Fulham's second choice keeper, playing behind Marcus Bettinelli, who I hope Fulham never sells because he was brilliant last season in the Championship. Really wanted to make an impact next season in the Premier League. I'm sure Brighton they can do something. They can do something with Busson unless they have just better keepers like who is it? Ryan Krul. I feel like he's just not Lee Grant to Man United. It's just a third, second choice keeper you're not really going to play just for filler. He's a replacement for Krul. And then, second choice keeper. We'll probably get cup games. The next one. Oh, this one's
interesting. Yeah. Be interested to see what you guys think of this one. But anyway, Cristiano Ronaldo from Real Madrid to Juventus.
Oh. I've fallen for so many leaks and announcements that have been proved to be bullshit. That people are pretending to be Juventus, photoshopping Ronaldo into Juventus kits. The fake Juventus account announcing Ronaldo. I was like, well, good on him. But I realized, it's fake. I realized if Ronaldo goes to Juventus, there'll be a massive decrease in Real Madrid fans. Like 80% of the fan base will go because of Ronaldo.
But what you've got to remember is then there'll be an increase in Juventus fans. So
exactly, a lose-win situation.
I think for Madrid, they don't want to let him go. However, at this point, Ronaldo's bigger than Madrid, and
he's 33. So he's 33 years old. He has to move at some point.
So if he wants to go, there is no way Madrid can he's one of those guys. If he wants to go, that he will just not play. He will just leave. Do you know what I mean? He's that kind of big of a name. Whereas if he doesn't want to be at somewhere, he doesn't have to. So I don't think Juventus is the right decision at all. I think it's anything.
It's brilliant. If it's not Spain and if it's not France and if it's not the US and it's not China, I think Italy's good for him.
Is there not a part of you that wants to see him? Yeah, that's what I mean. Is there not a part of you that wants to see him back in the Prem? Just do it one last season.
Oh, the Premier League, I'd love to see him, but if I think either Italian League or Premier League, and that's it.
Yeah, because I can't see what Juventus offer that a team like Man City or Man United don't. I know he's not going to City.
Yeah.
He's dropping. Well, Ronaldo, he's good, but he's dropping in value. I think Juventus have offered something between 80 and 90 million, which sounds reasonable if you're not Neymar. So that's okay. I feel like this thing about the transfer is that it could actually happen. Yeah. And despite all the bullshit, but it's such a big name that it could happen so quickly or so slowly.
But what you remember is when you I know Ronaldo's old, but you're not just getting a good footballer. You're getting a leader. You're getting someone with experience who's been in every situation in football. Do you know what I mean? He's played in the low leagues of Portugal. He loves football. So even if you got him as he was playing on your bench, and I know he would never play on a bench, but I mean in the future, he brings experience.
He's someone who's arrogant on the pitch. Yeah, he's arrogant on the pitch, but off the pitch, he's an absolute saint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He donated, what was it, £3 million to the Chapecoense crash? I believe, I would believe that definitely because he is quite a nice person, and he has a new kid every 10 seconds
with different
Instagram. Yeah,
he's a single
machine.
Just hump and dump.
Exactly.
Yeah. The next one, Gelson Martins, which is one of the many release players, free contract sporting players who could potentially be going to Atletico Madrid. I don't know why our Premier League players, Premier League teams, aren't making a better effort for the free agent, the free contract sporting players, because they're really good. And Atletico, they're trying to sign. They will try to sign Gelson Martins. Spurs have been linked with them. Arsenal's been linked with them. But the only Premier League team to make a shift for a free contract a free Sporting player was Wolves signing Rui Vitória, and that's a steal.
I think what you get with the Sporting players is you also got to remember they play Europe. They play Europa League most years. I'm not wrong there. I think so. They're not play. The problem is when you're signing up players from leagues like that, you worry that they won't fit in the Premier League. But some of these players would have played against Premier League sides and would have done well. And so I think you've got, when they're on like free contracts like that, you just got to take a gamble. You've just got to gamble, and because if say like you say Martins goes to Atletico Madrid and tears it up, then they're going to go, well, everyone will look back and go, what a steal. And if he doesn't, everyone's just going to go, well, they got him cheap anyway. It was worth the attempt. So
yeah, it's a safe option.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's a win-win situation really for Atletico.
Yeah. And the last of the Vespers.
Yeah. So then you've got Felipe Anderson from Lazio to West Ham. So he's Brazilian. Oh, yeah. Am I not? Yeah, he's Brazilian.
West Ham. I just want to say this now. West Ham they're playing FIFA.
Yeah.
West Ham. Yes. West Ham. They've signed. They could potentially be signing Dimitri Payet again. Their manager's Manuel Pellegrini. They're just trying to make it easier for them to stay up in the Premier League. But I feel like they just want to be like Everton, who signed all those players, became a hype team, and they were a hype team, but they didn't do well. They just didn't do well in the league. Yeah. I feel like even though with these players, unless West Ham aren't getting hype around them, I feel like they still won't do well. But that will probably come back to bite me on the ass, because a lot of how you say L's have been taken on like even the True Geordie channel, like of the football predictions where they made, where like teams like all three promoted teams would be relegated, but none of them did. It was
I think talking about Everton and jumping on the hype train in terms of players, I've seen like loads say them signing Emil Forsberg, and that's just like another one of their signings where they see someone play well or they do all right, and then they're like, shit, well, let's have a look at him, sign him for way too much, plays a few seasons of football and then leaves. Or you get like the odd time, then they will get a good player. So I think Everton have the amount for the club Everton they have way too much money, and they literally spunk it. Yeah. Everton spunk their money on as many players as they can, and if they go right, they go right, and if they go wrong, they're like, oh shit, doesn't.
It's because they're a hype team.
He was awful, and he was.
Yeah, they're a hype team. They're like they weren't really signing English players either. They were just signing like really good foreign players, but they were just predicting that, right, these players are good, but let's just see how they play without like really giving them full training, which is what West Ham are doing. Not
West Ham have just signed. Well, I say signed. They've had their bid accepted for Balbuena from Corinthians in Brazil, which is like another crazy transfer, as he's not played. Balbuena's not played international football since 2015.
Matthew Balbuena. I haven't heard that name since 2015.
Is that Benzema
Balbuena? Balbuena. He went to. Yeah.
This is Fabian Balbuena from Corinthians in Brazil.
Oh, never mind. I thought you said Matthew Balbuena.
No. This is like he's. I don't really know where they're going with this. He's played 136 games for Corinthians, only scoring 11 goals in 3 years.
Right.
Yeah.
And they've signed him, and I think their bid was. Let me try and find the bid here.
Yeah. Of course, like.
It's just a weird signing. I don't really know where they're coming from with this.
There's also like a team that has been making a lot of signings but are doing it right. Who is it? Inter Milan. Yeah. Inter Milan have made so many good signings.
Yes,
since even the last podcast.
They get Nainggolan.
Nainggolan, De Vrij, some other Italian league players. Like they're looking for league experience and they're looking for just like any just quality players because it's their first season back in the Champions League, and they want to make a name for themselves. Matteo Politano, I think an English team that's been doing okay with signings is Watford. They re-signed an ex-player, Ben Foster, much to the disgust of West Brom fans, because I think he did like say that he was committed to West Brom, but now he's back at Watford.
Birmingham.
Oh,
he won the League Cup with us, and that was
I remember Ben Foster for conceding a goal against a Spurs goalkeeper, Paul Robinson. Quite an old goal, but like pretty intense. And who else? They also signed a Swedish player, but they announced their kit at the same time as announcing that they got Gerard Deulofeu on a permanent deal.
Yeah.
Absolute
also,
Kennedy, it's a good way to announce something.
Kennedy's gone back to Newcastle for another year later. I don't know if you saw that. Yeah. And so Kennedy's going to Newcastle for another year, which I think is good. He was one of their more positive players towards the back end of the season, really.
Yeah, definitely. I think for the last bit of this podcast, we've been going on about football for a long time now. I think you wanted to mention something about Kanye or like just music in general.
Yeah, I should talk about music because we went into it briefly, didn't we, on the last podcast? But we didn't really have much time on it. So
even before we started recording. Yeah.
Quick question. I want to. Any of you heard the new Brockhampton song?
Yes, I listened to it earlier.
I had to jump in on it. I was waiting so long for a Brockhampton song, and I was like, I'm so glad they delivered.
1999 Wildfire. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it because it is honestly class.
Yeah,
definitely.
I've had it on.
All you listeners.
Yeah, all you listeners, well, we don't know. This one might not do as well unless Brian.
Let's go, Chad.
Replies to our tweets.
What are their names? What are our viewers' names? Fellow Lozlims. Yeah,
I guess
you're all Lozlims in our eyes. Yeah, you're all Lozlims in our eyes. Yeah, all about that.
Lozlims Podcast. This is like, in a way, like when like you see like people handing out like Bibles or like Qurans. This is like our way of like really spreading our message to the world.
We're handing out podcasts.
Yeah, in a way, I'm actually currently writing like a Lozlim Bible.
I've been writing that for ages. The Quran.
Yeah.
With the
yeah, I remember we did show it. We showed it to Lawrence and Brian, and they thought, "Oh bloody hell!"
Sometimes we do go far, and the reactions we get from Brian and Lawrence are worth it.
They are absolutely worth it. And about music. Brockhampton's song was pretty good.
I mean, like you say, you've been waiting for a while.
I was a fan.
He hasn't released since he released Saturation 3, so that was like last year.
Saturation 3 was a good album, but I preferred 2. 2's always been my favorite.
Yeah. What's your favorite song of Saturation 2?
Tokyo.
Mine's Gummy.
It's between Sweet and Tokyo and Gamba. Those 3.
Yeah, Sweet's good.
Yeah. I could recite like most of them. Who's your favorite member of Brockhampton? That's quite. For me, it's either Merlin Wood or Don McLennan. Don McLennan's flow purely that was brilliant. I really want to see Brockhampton members on the True Geordie podcast.
I actually like
That's the shout.
The van offers something different, which is what I like. But I mean, it's all good, isn't it? Really?
Grab life by the horns like I would the Lambo.
Also, I just want to shout out Aristocratic Loz. 1, it's his birthday, and 2, he worked really hard on his Scorpion album review. So check that out.
Check it out.
Quite decent.
Link in the description.
Yeah, we'll link that in the description because he did a great job on it. And if you're into music, he did a good review of the whole A side and B side. So
Yeah, definitely.
What were your thoughts on Scorpion?
It's alright.
I'm not a massive Drake fan. I'll put it out there.
I thought, how can a dead? I think the Drake featuring Michael Jackson. I thought it was pretty weird for a dead body to feature another dead body, considering what Pusha T did to him.
Yeah, I think
I'm quite annoyed actually because people have actually taken their minds off Pusha T just going into Drake, and now he's still smashing out albums. Yeah, and Drake's still smashing out albums because there's no better way of showing defeat by just completely ignoring it. Yeah, he hasn't responded. He said like, I think he said like, oh, I didn't respond because I don't want to end him. And you're just thinking, no, if you wanted to end him, you would have done it. Like you would have done it. You tried to end him in the Duppy freestyle. He snaps with the story of BATESON, and then saying like, your dad's a deadbeat, you're a deadbeat dad. You have a son who you don't love. You need to meet your son. You knocked up a prostitute, and now your friend's dying, and there's nothing that you can do about it. And then you're thinking, Drake, man, I thought you were real. I thought you were a real guy.
One song on Scorpion, which is quite interesting, is March 14th. Obviously, the day his son was born. And if you listen,
he just completely. You know that line in the Drake song. Which one? God's Plan. She say, "Do you love me?" I tell her only partly. I only love my bed and my mom. I'm sorry.
I know what you're talking about.
How is his son feeling about that? Like Drake doesn't even love his son, man.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think then again, every rapper, I think that just makes Drake more of an artist. That now that he has like, because I think it made him less of an artist that he was trying to hide like his bad side.
Yeah.
Just show it, and let people see the real you.
But one thing I never liked Drake is that he would play two different sides depending on what he was with. If he wanted to be mainstream, he'd play the mainstream side. If he wanted to be like a rap artist, and he would do that. He kind of switched. And I think also what frustrated me about Scorpion is like he'd already been like Nice for What, I'm Upset, God's Plan.
Yeah, Nice for What was a song I listened to before Story of BATESON, so I was still like, oh yeah, he's still pretty good. He's still a pretty good artist. Like, and then Pusha T comes out with Story of BATESON, and now it's like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good shout. I think I have to end now.
Yeah.
I just want to end with so like, I think it's been a good second podcast. Can we get like can we get like an applause for the second podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. Love that. Very brilliant. Here's to the third one. I just want to end with, as we've been talking about music, we'll just end with some, if you can hear this. That is 3 Lions. Thank you for listening to the second podcast.
By the time we recorded the Cam and Ranty podcast, we should know whereabouts England are headed.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to the second Podlims. Subscribe to the Drew Geordie, and I'll see you later. It's coming home, boys.